Welcome to the program Beyond the Headlines, the 6th day of November, the year 2016. My name is Martin Mwanje. It is now time to bring you this particular program as we promised the other week. And we want to focus on US elections. Remember that it's just a matter of hours this Tuesday, and millions of Americans will be voting to elect their next president after Barack Obama. And we want to just, borrow some experiences and see what Kenya can learn from the process. That is the US elections as we head to the 2017 elections. In studio with us this evening is Alex Manyasi, who is a political economist and scientist for that matter. Welcome, Alex, to the program. We also have Dina Walsh. She's so passionate when it comes to matters women. She's a women rights crusader. Dina, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
In studio with us as well, we have Dr. Patrick Maluki, who is a lecturer of international relations and diplomacy at the University of Nairobi. Dr. Maluki, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And youth are also represented here. Daniel Orogo is in studio with us. He's a youth leader. Welcome to the program, Daniel.
Thank you.
Happy to have you. And if you want to get in touch with us and perhaps comment on how you think Kenya can learn from the US elections, is there anything you feel we can learn as a country? You can do so. And Jen Wamboi is here to let you know how you can do that. Good evening, Jen.
Good evening, Martin. A warm welcome once again to you. My name is Jane Wamboi. Now, as already mentioned by Mwanje, in today's discussion, we will be talking about the electoral processes. Now, as we draw near and nearer to the said 2017 general elections, there is much that Kenya can learn as a country when it comes to the electoral process, and more so sampling from the United States. Now, with only 2 days to go to the presidential elections, they have managed to have peaceful campaigns, peaceful presidential debates, among others, as they lead up to the elections. Now, having noted this, we're asking you today, what can we learn when it comes to the electoral process from the United States? What can we learn when it comes to the electoral processes from the United States? Why don't you go ahead and talk to us on Twitter? You can find us using @BGHKBC, and on Facebook, our page is Beyond the Headlines. Alternatively, you can always send us an email. Our address is bgh@kbc.co.ke. Do remember to leave your name and location. We will be sampling your views and comments as we proceed on with the show. But for now, let's get started with this conversation. Over to you, Martin.
Thank you, Jen Wamboi, and we'll be looking forward to those responses. And remember that in the U.S. elections, the race is between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And considering that a woman is being, mooted as a lady who is likely to win, let us begin by first giving prominence to women on this set. And therefore, Dina, what do you think Kenya can learn from the U.S. elections or electioneering process?
First and foremost, I think the most important lesson is that for the first time, a woman has been endorsed by a major political party in a major and important country, a superpower, has endorsed a woman to run as their presidential candidate. That for me is a very big statement. And I also want to say that the fact that Hillary has impeccable credentials has not made people still frown at her being the flag bearer. And so you find that she's worked hard to reach where she is right now, but still she has to work thrice as hard compared to her opponent, who is not as qualified as she is.
Did you say who is not as qualified as she is? But that's okay. But Dr. Maluki, in fact, Dina talks of Hillary Clinton being endorsed. Is it an indication that this country can also be headed to having a woman presidential candidate as we head to the next poll?
Yeah, precisely, yes, because that's the way to go. Hillary has earned her position. I mean, as Dina says, she has worked hard. We have looked at her history. And for the Democrats to pick on her, it's because of the work that she has demonstrated in the political process. So the message is very clear to Kenyan women that you can also actually be elected president of this country. The constitution is very clear. There's no discrimination. And so my appeal is that women should take the space, contest. Like now we know there is this Accord, which is trying to build a major coalition with hiring about Mudavadi, Charity. Why can't even Charity Gilu join with Raila, Wetangula, Mudavadi, and then they actually nominate a woman, even Martha Karua, if she wants to come, although you know where her heart is at the moment. But the point is, anyone can lead this country, either a man or a woman.
But the question will be, as we talk about Accord and Jubilee and women candidates, one will ask the question, Charity Ngilu vied in this country in 1997, I want to believe. In 2013, Martha Karua vied. Alex, what stopped women and Kenyans as it were from electing Martha Karua as the president?
I think vying is one thing, but having to win an election is a totally different thing. The fact is that even Hillary Clinton today, I think she gets herself to where she is because of the circumstances. She's just lucky that she's running against an opponent who is not as favorable as we can think, whom everybody hopes will not win. So I think she's just finding herself in the circumstances. However, having said that, the US itself has come a long way. They're almost 200 years ahead of us when it comes to democracy, and yet it has taken them this far and this long for them to recognize that. So I am not thinking that we will have a woman president in Kenya anytime soon. Not that I'm being pessimistic, but
that's true. I wish you saw how Dina is looking at you, but it's okay.
Yeah, because there are many reasons as to why that is not happening very soon. Number one being the fact that the women who tend to be leaders, the women who have run and gotten to the positions high up there, seem to be a bit aggressive, and therefore men wouldn't want a woman like that to be president. I don't know why. The women themselves will want to think that that is not their representative, and that's why, even with more than 50% of the votes, they still do not vote in a woman. So these things...
You're simply validating the statement, women are their own enemies.
That's true, and it's not about to change anytime soon. We'll take some time, that's for sure, before we get there.
Dina, you can interject, but I can see I can see Daniel here because he seems to have a reason, by the way. Because look at Martha Karua. I think women were looking forward to her vying again 2017. She says she wants to vie for Kirinyaga gubernatorial position 2017. Charity Ngilu wants to be governor, Kitui. So who is left then? Even as we talk about Hillary Clinton vis-a-vis Kenya.
Well, I think it's important to disagree with this kind of narrative, first of all. Because I see, like Dina said, I see women struggling to occupy these spaces, and the political landscape right now, to be real, because I said let's also be realistic as we try to be idealistic at the same time. Kenyan political platform it's not equally leveled. It's not fairness. It's not fair as per now. But the only way is to nurture these women in this kind of political platform. That I dispel that kind of myth that they're enemies, and that I think is not.
But there's evidence to show that
it is not right.
Is there not
like
evidence?
I said, we had women who supported Professor Wangari Maathai.
But was she elected president? Was she elected
whatever
president?
position she was running to, she was supported by the grassroots women. And I always need to say this. As a young person, I feel so sad when this kind of narrative, I'm unsafe when this kind of narratives are made against women. So, and then going back to this question, I think, and I'm sure, that Hillary Clinton actually has worked tirelessly the way...
but Martha Karua has also worked tirelessly.
The comparison is drawn is that there is a track record of Hillary Clinton in public service.
There's also a track record of Martha Karua.
Even if USA has got a mature democracy, it's come a long way. What we can do right now is to vis-a-vis the level at which they are from where we are. I think this is the question. And I'm saying that Hillary Clinton she actually earns whatever she's gained. And personally, what I can learn is that if women are trusted with leadership positions, they can actually deliver. They can actually be trusted upon to deliver these.
Dr. Maluki, as you interject, maybe the
I want to put it squarely on the women themselves, because we've seen those women who made attempt in this country, they have been elected. We had Nyiva Mwendwa in Kitui as a member of parliament, and she went through an electoral process. She was competing with the men, and she won. I mean, we had Fiba Asio. I mean, quite a number of women this society have. So what remains is women first to take up the initiative. Who is stopping a woman today from saying that I'm going to fight for the presidency? Nobody. And then on the same note, we want to see that although women have a huge constituency in the name of fellow women, then there is that lack of support that women also do not have a lot of faith in their fellow women. And this is really has been a major drawback, right? Unless we change this kind of perception, such that when a woman contests for a position, we look at the policies and not the gender aspect. So it is not just the playing ground, which is not there. The constitution is very clear. All Kenyans have equal opportunity to fight for elected position, so there's no problem.
So there's, in other words, you're validating what Manyasi said.
Yes.
Let me ask you, Dean, as you come in 2013, because the narrative here that we seem, in fact, Dr. Maluki and Manyasi seem to agree, is that it appears women are enemies of themselves. In 2013, did you vote for Martha Karua as a leader? Because she was a woman pie. Did you vote for Martha Karua? From the bottom of your, just imagine God is not.
From the bottom of my heart, I did not vote
You did not
for
vote?
her.
Why?
Yeah. Because I want to say that politics is dynamic. Even as we are saying that women should participate in political processes, elective political processes, you don't just vote for a woman for the sake of the fact that she's a woman. And I say that by probably expounding that there are issues that come up, different political parties, and so on and so forth. So that might make you end up not voting for a woman. But it does not negate the fact that you support and would want to have more women in power. I also want to say that Daktari here is saying that women are their own enemies, and he's also supported Daktari. But I want to say that that is a statement of demobilization. That is supposed to demobilize women.
But I thought they're arguing from a point of empirical evidence that past practices have indicated that women do not support their own women.
Actually,
You see, if I can interject, the American landscape compared to ours, as he said, is completely different, because they've been at this game, democratic game, for so many years. Kenyan women only started voting the other day. Remember, we didn't even have voting ID cards for so many years, and it has taken a very short time. Another thing, Kenyan women have not been made politically aware. Political education has not been done enough for us to have a critical mass of women that understand this game.
Is it true? Is that statement true? Is that statement true? Manyasi, let me bring in Manyasi before I come back.
I think
that statement that political education has not been conducted among women, and that's why perhaps they don't elect themselves.
I think we need to look at specific scenarios. Like, for instance, there's a very big difference between running for governor or president position and running for other positions. Reason being, when you're running for governor, you're actually a president of that region. People look at you differently from when you're running for member of parliament, because that is a section within a home. But when you want to run a home, people start thinking differently. So that's why even for women who are going to run for governor positions are going to find it even harder than women who are going to run for member of parliament positions. Also depending on the communities where you come from. For the communities that have appreciated the fact that women can lead and can be given space, they're going to find it much easier than those communities that regard women position as being in the kitchen. So those are dynamics and
That
realities that we have to deal with for now.
that we have to deal with for now. I want to shift gear and move away.
No, I have not spoken.
My hand was up.
Yes.
What I wanted to say is that I believe in the abilities of women, and we have success stories. We have Wangari Maathai. I mean, she was a Kenyan woman, the first to win a Nobel Prize. Where were the men? And so what we are saying is that women can do it. We have our current CS, Foreign Affairs, Amina Mohamed. She's a performer, and you can see where Kenya has been, with her. And of course, she's going to be elected the AU chairperson, all right? That is very much in order. So what we are saying is that not that women are not able, but they must take up the space. There's nobody who is going to go to every village and tell a woman, come on and take this position. So it's not about babysitting women anymore. Women are equal partners in society with even men. And they are able, when given responsibility, they deliver.
They deliver.
So the most important area of emphasis is to allow or to prop the women to take up the space.
To take up the space.
Yes.
Daniel, you seem to be
One of the
uncomfortable.
lessons that we should learn from American election is that we Kenyans should be honest with what they're saying. When we come to these platforms, people say about how we should create an equal opportunity for women to vie or for youth to vie. But when you go to the ground, people speak a different language. And I think that is one lesson that we have to learn, to be very honest by what we say. I said, talking about American election, when the president was in this country, he told us Kenyans that a football team that has got a half of his players missing is going to definitely fail. Now that we are talking about American election, we are talking about a landscape that it's so intolerable to women and is not equal. One thing I need to insist on saying this, that we were asking how long is this going to happen, and I am not really a supporter of too much of these affirmative action. But again, I am saying that the political landscape right now.
Do you want it moderated, the affirmative action?
Of course, the political landscape right now is so hostile to women to compete equally with men. And I say, as long as this still exists, we still need to come up with initiatives that support women and youth to vie.
I'll have wanted to hold you account to that particular matter of affirmative action, but let's move away from affirmative action. Alex, the 2016 elections in the US, in fact, many people ruled out Donald Trump. In fact, they never imagined he will reach where he is. So did many people. Never expected that Hillary Clinton can be a Democratic Party candidate. But the question is, age has been a factor in this country. Hillary Clinton is relatively old. So is Donald Trump. How have we come to that point as a country where we can say that age is just a number, irrespective of how many years you are, that